Hello, this is Wojciech Pietrzak again. Welcome to my next ITSL game, this time against Dmitry Pasko from Belarus, but apparently he currently resides in the United Kingdom. And I guess he's one of the strongest opponents I've met so far, comparable to Bartosz Wróbel. Now, I'm not very happy about this hand, but it looks manageable, provided my socialist governments don't get defected. So socialist governments, followed by a coup with Warsaw Pact probably. CIA, probably as late as possible. Marshall Plan to be held or spaced. And yeah. A pity he scored Middle East right now. So let's try to coup Italy. 3 or more is a good result. 6 meets the requirement of being 3 or more, so I can't complain about this. Now I'm actually wondering whether I should play Marshall Plan or not. I mean, I could take France, but then he grabs a bunch of other stuff. Or I could take Spain, Portugal, and let's say Turkey. And then he is very close to break even, provided he secures France in the long run. I can always play Romanian abdication to just boost the number of European countries after this. But I think it would be wise to get rid of Truman first, namely to transfer the op from Austria to France. By the way, normally with Truman you could consider 5 to Poland, 4 to West Germany and nothing else. But in this case, had I rolled exactly 3, he would have been the first one to gain access to Italy. Due to my mistake, I hadn't recorded my previous game against Yanis Kaltsas. I lost this game, and I promise you, the fact that I lost the game wasn't the cause of my not recording the game. It was nicely played by my opponent. So I want to get rid of Truman ASAP, just to enter the race for France. In a quite safe manner. I now could play some special relationship just to break UK, and apart from breaking UK and making the card void, it also denies my opponent presence in Europe. What I certainly should remember is to boost North Korea by the end of the turn. Yes, he is somewhat rich, and yes, North Korea is now under his control. Sorry, South Korea. Despite losing Korean War by him and eliminating the card from the deck. Not the end of the world. But now that I probably no longer should play China, especially with CIA in my hand still. I mean, he can still trigger Fiddle in the appropriate moment. So, special relationship. Romanian, I think, for up in North Korea, and then CIA created to just let him do whatever he wants and respond to it. He's putting one by one into France because I guess he assumed that as I used Warsaw Pact to Italy, I don't have a playable 4, and he's right to some extent. But well. Okay. Am I switching my plans now? Maybe to coup Pakistan with the China card? That's very risky regarding CIA created. And I am not willing to take this risk. So let's take this because not the biggest deal ever if he gets this point now. I don't really need to make this action void. I now threaten to take Pakistan directly. I assume he may have Indo-Pakistani war. Because otherwise I would assume he could make a single step to Pakistan, followed by taking India and Pakistan at once, especially that he had 2 4-up cards. Now I think I should most certainly coup Lebanon, giving him a good coup target. Yeah, I think so. Not really giving him a coup target, because I rolled a 1. But okay, now CIA should be a safe play, even under Fiddle. So I'm leading in Europe. It could be volatile, but Truman is gone. I'm losing elsewhere, but I should get rid of CIA, and this should be good. And I can even... Okay, let's resolve event first and just hope he doesn't roll too much against Egypt. He did not, so I'm going to place influence in Syria, therefore securing Middle East domination after successfully couing Iran. He had Red Scare. Defectors are gone, so probably D-card could be a good headline if I get one. Rather decal than distal, because I don't have good influence to distalize from yet. Well, Finland, okay. South Korea, okay. But what else? Three, 1, 6. Okay, my rolls were on average better. He has his mill-ups. And I have my mill-ups too. And indeed, I got decal. And I don't want to hold it until next turn. So I think I'll sacrifice 3 victory points and just play duck and cover into Thailand. As of decal, one should go to Angola. Okay, so let's stop his domination in Asia. But first... Okay. Does it interfere with my plans? Interesting. Duck and cover is a 5 VP switch, actually, because I'm resigning from a coup. So it's 3 VPs. If he has no Indo-Pakistani war, it's 5 VPs otherwise. I think it's too much at this stage of the game. Let's perform coup, keeping the goal in the deck. Well, I can't complain about this coup result. I know he may take Algeria, he may take Thailand, and so on. What he can't do is to do everything at once. And my play could be quite straightforward. I mean, a little bit of play here, a little bit of play there. Now I can play the China card to take Thailand if he allows me, or even to take Japan if I hold US-Japan and space it on turn 3. So if he doesn't space now, captured Nazi scientist is quite an obvious follow-up. He doesn't, so I assume 2 into Thailand, 1 to France. No, I was wrong. Now, the question about Thailand arises. Is Thailand worth losing the first space action? I think it's worth. With a little bit of luck, I get 2 space options this turn. And I'm holding 2 cards. So duck and cover, US, Japan, and Marshall are, of course, candidate to hold and space. Containment should be played in such a way that I take Zaire and overprotect Thailand. That was quite natural. As of fiddle, it's very tempting to event it. But being able to use, okay, his hand must be quite awful that he didn't secure Canada. Being able to use these two VPs is also tempting. Now, should I space any second card? If so, of course, US-Japan Mutual Defense is the candidate, because headlining it by my opponent doesn't do much harm to me. Okay, containment, Afghanistan, Thailand, and Zaire. So what am I doing with fiddle? Eventing or not? And by the way, I can, of course, hold Marshall and US-Japan, because it's not the end of the world if I'm forced to play any of these cards. First things first, fiddle here. And let's say to Burma. Burma is more important than Afghanistan, because Afghanistan doesn't score anything for me. It may only score for him. Burma scores for us both. And this is an adjacency to India. So now I kept my domination in Europe. I defended Asia to some extent, although he's still leading by the number of battlegrounds. And I regained Middle East, although it has been scored when it was in his favor. I also decided not to space Marshall and US-Japan because there are more urgent cards to space if you are USSR. So containment, certainly one goes here, one goes here. I assume Vietnam revolts. Maybe a card which is going to appear right now. Let's just secure the number of countries of Asia, notwithstanding. He equalized Europe. But I'm more concerned about Asian problems than about not dominating Europe temporarily, especially that I have better accesses to cheap non-battlegrounds to regain domination. Socialist governments shall return, de Gaulle shall return. I haven't seen Suez so far. It looks good. I haven't seen blockade so far. And Asia is only volatile in early war, and once sealed, it's very, very hard to flip. And if any, it usually is in USA's favor, because, okay, Meyer or Beltrap can work either way. ABM treaty and brushwork can work either way. Decolonization and colonial rearguards can nullify each other, but Ussuri River skirmish is only American. And this single card makes a really big difference. So there should be 6 after the second turn. 6 points in my favor. My opponent doesn't play very fast. I must say, he already spent 13 minutes and the second turn is not over yet, whilst we have 60 minutes per game, which is on average 6 per turn. Breaking Egypt was a nice play, I must say. I have a nice hand, I must say. Am I in danger of his controlling Asia? But really, no, I'm not. So let's headline Suez Crisis. Okay. I'm very glad he drew it. I think it was the second best draw he could make. Asia scoring would be the best. All right. So let's try to coup Egypt, I think. And 3 was exactly enough to achieve what was desirable. Now, I think I will score Asia for whatever it's worth. Then I will quite freely trigger US-Japan. Of course, if he allows, taking France with nuclear test ban has the priority. He has D-style, so I'm quite hesitant to play blockade for the event. He also has Vietnam revolts. And of course, he doesn't allow me to take France, and I should not allow him to go as far as into Turkey. All right. Romanian abdication can be a very important card right now. Marshall Plan. It may be worth taking Greece, actually. Because we will be fighting for the number of countries. But let's assume for a moment that he grabs Greece at the end of the day. D-style? No, fiddle. That is a pity to some extent. And it's somewhat troubling that he's controlling Asia right now. Dominating, I mean. Okay, this requires some thinking. he has the China card, so ops war in Asia is futile. I think taking Libya might be a mistake in this case, but well, it's no use crying over the spilled milk. One thing I could do is to take Taiwan, because then he has to take Japan. Yes, let's do it. Now he has to take Japan if he wants to regain domination, which makes it free for me to trigger US-Japan mutual defense. Of course, I shouldn't push it too hard, because this is my last 4-op, and I may need a defense against whatever he decides to do. He may as well grab Afghanistan with the China card, but if I get China card just like this, okay, I'm quite happy about it. Well, I'm not happy about losing 5 more points in Asia, and it makes a 5 points difference, but it's okay-ish. Now I assume he secures Europe a little more, and okay, he gets UK and equalizes the number of countries. I might put one from blockading Czechoslovakia, regaining domination, and just wait. Yep. Equalized Europe, so let's regain domination in Europe. Maybe I shouldn't have, because Asia is a certain scoring and Europe is... Oh, but Middle East was a scoring as well. So now the remaining scoring is Europe. And it happens so that this is me who hold it. Now, US-Japan, it gives him domination in Asia, but then if he plays Vietnam revolts, it comes the reverse, provided he doesn't go directly into Vietnam, and it all happens in the region which has just been scored. So I think I'm gonna hand him this event, especially that I still have good places to put influence in. And I know Middle East has also been scored, but OPEC, aka an extra Middle East scoring, is still somewhere in the deck. So Central America, he has presence in Panama. South America is empty. Africa is slightly in my favor, but only slightly. Europe is dominated by me. Southeast Asia is slightly in my favor. And we are ending up with 12 points in my favor. And Europe not being scored. Now this looks like a very nice hand. And I think I'm gonna headline Long Gunman, because I'd like to see what exactly should I expect. Yeah. Defected long gunman. Not the end of the world, I must say. Now, what am I cooing? Algeria or Panama? I think I'll go for Algeria. Could have rolled better than that, but if I had to roll two, it's better to roll it now than later when I'm going to use brush war on Panama. However, if he gets to Algeria and Nigeria at once, it's me who gets into defensive positions in Africa. Yep. Before he spreads, let's try our luck here. And this time it worked. And yes, he grabbed Vietnam, regained domination in Asia, but I think it's moot. Okay, I now need to fight for Africa, and yes, this means he is going to have his mill-ups. I no longer have good ops cards. I'd like to solve for Distal. Actually, maybe I should play Kennedy. This has a downside risk if he has a scoring, which he doesn't want to play. On the other hand, if he discards a card he doesn't want me to have, I may solve for it. And I can always... Okay, the worst he can discard is Europe scoring. It would hurt if he does it, but if he did it, but let's take this risk. If he discards like OPEC, I may solve for it. And I will. Plus this gives him misinformation about what I really have in hand, because it suggests that my hand is much worse than it actually is. He also probably gets rid of many cards. Oh, he doesn't discard anything. That's nice to know. Actually, Cameroon, yes, Sudan in case of Sadat. So Space Colonials, play Allende, AR7 Quagmire. Quagmiring him earlier may also be a decent play. Equalized Europe. Okay, so let's Quagmire him. If he has Africa, oh well. He failed with Cultural Revolution. So am I salting? And gaining 2 more victory points? Why not? Yes, I am salting for distal. And he had the scoring, but, well, he scored his best region, and I still have a giant lead on victory points. Defectors are gone. Duck and cover is quite a cheap play. Missile Envy. I think I'll be more than happy to give you duck and cover. This is no longer needed. This isn't needed. This isn't needed. And as of Missile Envy, I think I'll coup Mexico. And I rolled very well. Maybe I should have entered Argentina. This was a great show that I had Allende. Oh wait, he's still quagmired. I should have remembered about it. So now I'm most certainly securing this. And grabbing Mexico. I know he has a coup now. But I have an America to score. I don't think he can space it, so... This wasn't a lucky draw from him. My play is quite straightforward now, I know. So was his. South America now scores a 5. And the question remains, should I be greedy? And to what extent should I be greedy if I should? Because Central America now provides 4, South America provides 5. Okay, let's not be too greedy. South African unrest, followed by nuclear subs, I guess. But these nuclear subs are going to go in Central America. Maybe I should space nuclear subs, but in this case, uh, in this case, I no longer can space nasty cards like Voice of America if I get them. And nuclear subs is not the end of the world, after all. The main problem with nuclear subs is that he may control Africa with it. So Kennedy's gone, CIA is gone, now Gunman is somewhere hanging. OPEC is gone for a while. Central America and Southeast Asia are now the most important regions because they weren't scored. Europe wasn't scored as well, but I don't think I can do much about it if I don't get socialist governments or the goal. Decal is always a nice headline because defectors are right here. So if I headline Decal, I can break Southeast Asia to give me even 2 more points and make some mess in Africa. Fidel is temporarily gone, so it's quite hard to count on this one. I'm very lucky so far this game, and it's still not decided. That was quite weird, I would say. I don't understand this move very well. Maybe this was to make my Portuguese empire crumbles, not grab Angola. But I think he has more urgent stuff to do than just secure Angola in a region which has already been scored. I now assume he's gonna coup Panama or Mexico. Mexico with the highest possible coup. And I got the scoring, and I got We Will Bury You, and Missile Envy is no longer on the deck, so let's headline We Will Bury You. Because I don't need as much as Southeast Asia scoring. I might, however, well, now the question is whether he made the right call or not and decided where to remove my stuff from. And if he does, whether I'm able or not to roll ABM decently. Now, I might play decall, and I think I will play decall. Because this looks exactly like what he was trying to avoid. I always have ABM. For the rescue in Central America. I might try to trigger Romanian application sometime. Chair for the rescue in Africa. Because my plan now is Formosan resolution to Colombia and somewhere else. Then chair to Colombia and Saharan states. Would be nice to have Romanian application played, but I don't have time for everything at once. Southeast Asia is now enough problematic for him. I'm ready to give up the China card. Just to take Panama. But first I will make an attempt against Mexico. Okay. That was a little unexpected. Right. I may fall into his domination if I'm not lucky enough to. Okay, grabbing 2 points. So this is the time for my roll, and it was a great roll. It probably is the roll to end the game in my favor, although of course I have to remember that he may have bear trap, but no, he didn't. So thank you for watching. See you next time. This is an extremely valuable victory against a very strong opponent who had just a terribly, terribly bad luck. I mean, I destroyed him on turn 6 on victory point track, but he certainly doesn't deserve such treatment basing only on skills. I was the luckier player, and it would be dishonest to not admit it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.